Hello, hello, everybody. We are back. We are back. We are glad to be here. We are excited. We were already backstage, you guys, just talking to our guests.
Oh my goodness.
The conversation is already hot and heavy.
We have the best guests.
OMG. We are so excited. I told y'all last week that y'all had to tune in so we could find out what 1623 means.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of his music, what he has done for the kingdom, and just about him. He's such an awesome individual. I got to really learn more about him when we went to that
accountability
that Corey had, the accountability thing that Corey had. I always
accountability session
of him. Yeah. And I knew who he was and experienced his awesome ministry by going to Bethany, and our churches used to affiliate with each other and all of that kind of stuff. But to just hear the amazing heart he has for music ministry and musicians and just overall church and the life of kingdom building and stuff. It was amazing.
What I love? I love the fact that I love when you see like an incredible musician, like genius, when they're playing, they're not talking when they're playing, they're just playing. But this gives us the opportunity to talk to the person behind all this music. And I just get goosebumps.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk now. And now a lot of what I respect about musicians and stuff, especially people who are busy like this guy is, he just took the time out, and he's an author now. He's got books and all of that kind of stuff. And that takes time, like he's already busy doing music ministry. Now you're going to do a book. Like I've been trying to write a book for like 7 years. That ain't happening. It's still on the back burner.
Mine is still in my flash drive.
Yes.
And
Yes,
he's
think that's
always going out
awesome.
of the country. So we
Yeah,
got to talk about all of that.
yeah, because I want to know how you get all of that done and still keep going, and then God keep adding on stuff and stuff and stuff. Like it's just amazing. But when you're open to God and you're open to Him using you, you know what I mean? Like He
Yeah.
just keeps pouring in. The more you pour out, the more He's going to
Yes.
pour
The
in,
more he
and we
pours
know
in.
that to be true. So come on in, like, share, and subscribe. We are live right now on Facebook and YouTube, across all of our platforms. We are excited that you are here. Let us know who you are and where you're watching us from. And
Yes.
we are so excited to get started. But before we do, you guys, I announced that I'm going to be releasing a new single on Good Friday. It's called He Is Risen. And for you guys and for the people who are on my band page, and for those who are in my private Facebook group, you can actually get a pre-download right now. It will be officially available on all digital platforms on April the 7th, which is Good
Yes.
Friday. But you could actually go to this page right here. I'm about to put it up on the screen, and you can download a copy today. I would really appreciate it if you do that. You're going to get it before everybody else, and you're going to go and download it right from our website.
Beautiful
Elaine,
song.
Joyce, and Jennifer singing backgrounds. It's God gave it to me
I love
last
it.
Easter past. I said, Lord, I need a song to teach my praise team.
Yes.
Something original that speaks to who you are and that
Yeah.
is powerful and about just the greatness that you are. And I sat down in my basement at that keyboard, and he gave it to me all in one fair swoop. He just poured it, because if you ask not, you have not, because you ask not.
Right.
I asked him and he gave it to me, and we've been working on it for about a year now. We're going to finally release it. I'm excited
You know
about
what my
that.
favorite line is?
What one?
He makes the crooked straight.
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah. I like the part where it says he got up from the grave and told death to behave. I like that part. He is
Yes.
the one. That's
Yes.
my favorite part. Yeah. So you right now, and you all know that because you're tuning in. So yeah, and we'll be posting this in our private pages on Facebook, but it'll be available to the world on April the 7th, and we are so excited about that. Elaine is working on a new song. So we're excited about her new single. We've been rehearsing with the background vocals and all of that kind of stuff. We're going to send some
Yep.
music over. So look for that coming this spring, this summer.
Yeah.
And God is just moving and he's doing great things. And so with that, we're going to bring our guest on because he's got a lot to share with us. He was already backstage filling us up with nuggets. And so we just want him to
Nuggets.
share
I
with
mean,
you guys all great, yes, all of the great stuff that God has poured into him. He's going to pour out on us tonight. So I'm excited. So without further ado, we like to welcome, come on, you guys, give it up for Gary Diggs.
Woo!
Yay!
Hello, hello, hello.
yay!
Hi.
This is the best thing in the world. You don't have to leave your house.
You know, we need to turn this into like a 4-hour event tonight. I tell you, you two blessed me already.
Yes, God is good. He is amazing. I'm so
Um,
excited to have you here. Like I said, I
I
knew
am.
of you. I knew who you were, all of that kind of stuff. Experienced your awesome ministry, the anointing that God has on your life.
Wow.
But at that accountability thing, I was like, that's the dude. That is the dude.
Well,
Because like
I couldn't
everything you
write
were
fast
saying,
enough. I couldn't
what?
write fast enough.
What? I just turned my recorder on
You're
because
just
it was
throwing
just
nuggets. Just throwing.
it was awesome. It was awesome.
Because you never stop learning in music ministry.
no,
You never stop learning. You
because
can
he's
only
ever
continue
teaching
to
us.
improve.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
that's good.
Because
That's good.
every day is new mercies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So every day is a new encounter.
yes.
Yeah.
So I wake up, eager to, what are you going to show me today, Lord? What are you going my steps are ordered.
Yes.
So
Right.
I'm really excited about just, learning.
Yes.
Yeah.
'Cause once you stop learning or you think you've gotten to that place where you're all that, whatever that means, then you pretty much sign your own death certificate.
That's true.
Yes, yes,
That is
yeah.
true.
So tell us, you told us a little bit about where you guys started, but tell our listeners how you began in music ministry.
Well, uh, I'm Gary Diggs, and I'm the youngest of five. There's five of us. I'm the youngest, and of course, I'm a preacher's kid.
Grace.
My parents pastored in the city of Camden, and the ministry is still active and going. Although my father passed, and I talked about it on social media, passed about 5 years ago, but the ministry is still going strong. And as I was sharing with you, a lot of people always ask, "What's my middle initial for?" And that's Emmanuel. I was named
Mm,
after the church. I guess my parents knew from day one, God is with you. So,
That's
yes.
right. Oh,
so that's
yes.
what comes. So I was at my parents' church again for 37, 38 years. And then from there, over to Bethany Baptist. So I've been with Bishop Evans in Bethany Baptist Church. April make 20 years.
Oh wow.
I can't believe it's flown by so
I
Yeah.
had
quickly.
hair when I first went there.
Yep. 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 And
I'm
look,
trying to
now
remember because
you.
I used to sneak over there on Wednesday nights for Bible study because I've never seen a Bible study like that. It was church.
Well,
I
it's a
met you.
blessing. I went there. Actually, I went there to visit. They were
Okay.
reporting, and actually, if I can backpedal a little bit. I had met Bishop Evans at a rehearsal.
Okay.
They were preparing to do some type of. He and my uncle was doing some type of concert. That's where I met him at, and we connected. And we laughed and talked, not knowing years later that I would end up working for the, working for him for the ministry. And I tell
Wow.
people, you got to be careful how you entertain because you never know who's going to actually be
Mm-hmm.
the one that's going to end up taking care of you years later. And I've
So
been with the
true.
Mm-hmm.
ministry, like I said, now it'll be 20 years, April.
That's
Mm-hmm.
incredible. That's
That's
incredible.
awesome. You can't even get a musician to stay with you for a concert, let alone 20 years
Girl.
nowadays. Ugh.
You mentioned that, and I tell a lot of pastors, they always say, well, the big houses always get the big dogs. And I said, well, I think big dogs will live real good in an apartment or a condo as long as they're walked and treated right.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Because
That's the
I
truth.
was the owner. Well, I don't have him no longer. I had a big dog, a mastiff, and I walked him. I fed him. And what I tell a lot of pastors are, you're trying to compete with the church down the street that can afford those huge numbers, but
Mm-hmm.
do what you can do and be honest. You
Yes.
That's
know,
all.
don't hustle the musician.
That's right.
Don't tell me what you can't afford, but then you pulling up a $150,000 car, you
Right.
know, and the bathroom smell like urine. So
Yeah.
you know,
Priorities.
I'm sorry, we supposed to keep it real tonight, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, come on.
You in the right place, sir. You in the
Yes.
right
So
place.
and I tell a lot of pastors, yeah, you can, because I can't tell you the amount of calls that I get from pastors asking for musicians, and they ask all but the key question. They said, Doc. When they say Doc, you got to watch that because
Yup.
that's normally a lie. But they said, Doc, I need a musician. I need someone. I had one pastor to call me and say, Doc, I need a musician. If he could just do the first 20 minutes of my service, if he would just play for the praise team, worship, and then once I get up, I'll take care of offering stuff. You don't have to stay for none of that. And I said, I don't do whores.
I
Yeah.
know that's right.
That's right.
I'm sorry. Let me just be real transparent. I
It's
Come
said
on.
true.
those guys, those numbers are not in my phone. I don't have musicians I can send to you to get you excited for 15 minutes, and then you give them a couple of dollars. And those kind of
Absolutely.
musicians I won't send to your ministry.
Yes, Lord.
That's
I
right.
said, I will send someone that that's going to stay and understand the worship experience. So then I
Absolutely.
had another pastor to call me and said, "Well, Doc, I need him to be the play the hymns of the church." I'm like, he just going through all this. I said, "But you never asked the key question. You asked me if they know hymns, but you never asked me if they know him.
That's
Yeah.
right. Because they
Him.
don't care.
Right.
They don't care."
They don't care.
We have become, uh, out of respect to our musicians, some respect need to be put on their gifts
Excuse
and
me.
talents.
Yes.
We're not just a drive-through. You know,
Right.
these guys have souls. You know, these musicians and singers, they have souls and need to be
Yeah.
treated as such.
That's right.
Yes.
Um, but again, you know, again, like I say, you know, big dogs live good in the apartment as long as you respect and treat them right.
Treat
You
them
know, I
right.
see a lot of things, a lot of foolishness that happens on social media between ministers and singers and preachers with the musicians, sometimes disrespectful and all those things. But a couple of things that I try to work with musicians on is how to handle being open rebuked or embarrassed
Uh-huh.
without losing your integrity.
Right.
Because of course, I mean, there's been many times I've wanted to walk off of an instrument because of a either preacher or an artist or whatever. But you also, at the end of the day, you got to remember that your name is still attached, more so than that person that you're, you know, being disrespected by.
Absolutely.
You still have to remember that your name is on that as well. So
Yeah.
you know, because you don't have to do it the next time. And I always say no is a complete sentence.
That's right.
So
Right.
the next come around, like, no, I'm good, you know.
Yep.
But you know, if you think I'm gonna sit in the service and go off on you, and we sit up there fighting and battling with each other, but that to create a bunch of likes and shares and comments on social media, it's not gonna happen from me.
Not gonna happen.
Nah, it's not gonna happen.
I know. My father was big on that too. He always used to say, like, you know, you represent the family name, the
Yeah.
Sanders name. Don't disrespect, and don't, first of all, don't disrespect
Yes.
God, who you're supposed to be representing. You're not an R&B singer. You're a gospel singer.
Right.
You're talking about good news. So your whole stature and your posture is completely different.
Yeah. And I think what happens a lot of
Donnell.
and we talked about this a little earlier. I think what happens, a lot of ministers get mistaken for ministers,
Right.
and it become a star status thing. And like, you know, who's that guy on the keys? Who's that guy on the organ? You know, or the musician becomes space filler. You know, service starts at 11, but you don't walk into 12:15. So you want him to cover all this space, all
Yes.
these songs. Now we done sung, gave you a full concert. I thank God I don't have those issues at the ministry. I don't have those
Right.
problems, you know, with my pastor. But I see it. I see so many bad behaviors across the country. The preachers get in there, you know, almost 45 to an hour late. They come in, you know, with the presidential wave, and the baby got Burberry on, the wife got red bottoms on, and everybody's walking around, disturbing the atmosphere. People are up going into
Yes.
worship. And here you come walking in with your aunts. You know, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
The
We
All right,
don't
let's
have
get to
that
this
here.
interview because I can go on and on.
They don't
I
even,
love
they don't,
God, and
no,
I
you're
think
good.
we need
You're
to get back
good.
to a place where we make him the center
That's
and
right.
Yeah.
make him the focus of our reason for being. And you know, that's why I'm not quick to follow after a lot of ministries that are swelling. Because there's
Yeah.
a difference between swelling and growth.
Yes.
Yes. Big difference.
Come
You
on.
know,
Big
so you have
difference.
a lot of ministry that's swelling and you know they're being relevant. Everything is relevant. It's all about relevancy. Nobody's talking about revelation, but everything is
Right.
about being relevant. I got the
About
Right.
latest this. I got this, I got that, I got the big screens, I got all this, I got the dancers, I got the drama, I got all these things. Jesus absent.
Yep. Yep. And the thing that, because I'm a minister of music as well, and the thing that used to bother me so bad is like you're in that moment, you know, and you know God, you know that He is present,
Yeah.
and here they come, and it's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like just everything. It's just a horrible feeling, and but then they expect you to bring the people back up to a place where you already had them, where
Yeah.
if they
Yeah.
were in the worship
If
service
you were
with you,
there,
if they were in the sanctuary, getting into the worshiping, and then they expect you to engage the people. Well, people follow lead, right? I'm not the leader of this
Yeah.
church. You
Right.
are. And so if they see you with your hands lifted and with your face in the floor bowed
Yeah.
before the king, then the congregation will follow the suit. They
Yeah.
will do the same. I can sing till the heavens come down, but when
Right.
you get in when you get in that pulpit and you're just standing there like it don't mean nothing, like everything that the praise and worship team just didn't affect you. That's how the congregation. That's
they
how the
take on the
congregation is
same
going to act
attitude. They
Yeah.
take on the same
as the
stance.
pastor, not
Yeah.
me, as the pastor. They
But
need
I
to
think we
see you in
forget that
worship.
that blood is on our hand,
Yep.
Mhm.
and we you know something you don't hear talked about. There's accountability,
Yes.
and we're gonna have to give an account, you know, for mishandling his
Yes.
people. You know, even when Bishop and I are on the road, sometimes we're like the first to the church, and he wants to get there early. We want to get a sense of the atmosphere of the service, of
That's
where we're
right.
going. And not just walk in, with that celebrity status of, here we are.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, by the grace of God, by the grace of God.
Every service I've ever been in, whether I was singing praise and worship or like I was just there and Bishop Evans was there, he was in worship with us. Like
Yeah.
he be in it. Like he be going
Yeah,
in.
I'm really, that part I'm very, really blessed,
Yeah.
because there's never a need or a lack of like instrumentation or anything that we need for ministry. It's never been a drawback, because he's big on the worship experience.
Yeah.
He was, I don't know if you know, he was a part of at one point Sweet Rain Records,
Oh no, I didn't know
with
that.
Andy Ford and Lionel Darley and those guys some years ago. So I'm just grateful for that, as well as he's concerned about our souls as well.
Yes.
So it's not one of those, he's not playing, he checks on you to make sure that you're good. And
Yeah.
I tell you, from some of the horror stories I hear across the country from some of these guys, the things they deal with, that's why I share with musicians, make sure that you're with a minister and not with a minister.
Yeah.
Because the lines are getting blurred,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I thank God for Bethany. It's a great family. I appreciate that ministry.
Yeah. So when did you know you were a songwriter? You know what I mean? Like you started
I
dabbling
didn't.
in that.
I
You
really
didn't?
didn't. It was just, I guess because my family, everyone plays. My parents play, and my brothers play. And as a young kid, and they used to write a song. It's in the book. That my nickname is Donkey. And my siblings and them and my mother used to get to the piano and they would sing donkey donkey donk 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 donkey donkey donk, just because they said I used to cry all the time. I'm still crying at 54. But anyway, they said I used to cry.
I was a crybaby.
I am
Hey,
too. I
I'm
am
the
too in
baby.
my
I'm still the
family.
youngest. And you know what? If I cry now, they all come running.
I'm the youngest.
But I think what happened, and then as I got older and then start, playing in church more, because my parents were very hard on us. And you didn't just play, you weren't, and we weren't not allowed to listen to anything other than gospel.
That's right.
That
That's
was
right.
if I remember one time for offering, I was doing a line from Stevie Wonder, dun, 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 dun,
Right.
dun, dun. And I'm 15, 16 years old. I'm just thinking, hey, we doing this. And the deacon standing there with the offering basket. And my mother stopped the service. She said, wait a minute. I'm not sure what you playing, but I don't think it's gospel. And it wasn't. I couldn't lie. I said, no, ma'am, it wasn't. She said, well, this is the Lord's house. When and I understand. I understand that now, and I'm getting to the answer about songwriting, but I understand that more now than I did when I was younger.
Right.
Because when I was 16, 17, and I was, you're starting to feel yourself getting a little older and got a couple songs out there. And, I came to church on a Sunday morning with a pair of ripped jeans and a jacket. You would thought, I didn't know. I mean, it was just a Sunday, I wore it on a Sunday morning. And when I got home from church, all my suits were out the closet. All my clothes, they were going out my closet. I thought someone had broke in while we were in church. So I run downstairs. Dad, Mom, what's wrong? Someone stole all my clothes. All my clothes gone. All my suits gone. So my dad said, I want you to sit down. I said, yes, sir. He said, you got another time to come in there on Sunday morning and look like you're on your way to a ball game. And what would you do if you had none of those clothes?
Yeah.
And okay, will wearing a suit and tie save you? No, we understand that. But the point he was trying to get me was to understand this: when you come to the house of the Lord,
yes,
with more than just your gifts, honor him. Because if you was going to stand before a judge, there would be a certain look.
That's right.
When you get married, there's a certain look. Well, not now. A lot of people do all kinds of things now. But his point was, there should be. He was like, when you think of giving them your best
coming
in
before
every
him,
area, You know,
Yeah.
and that's why now you'll see me still show up in the suit and tie on a Sunday morning.
Yes.
But back to the songwriting. So as when I was younger, I was gauging in or dabbling in some of the songwriting, but it really came true when my uncle started a choir called Tri-State Mass Choir.
I sang in with Tri-State for a
I
while.
remember. And
Yeah.
they birthed out of Edwin Hawkins and was a
Yeah.
seminar. So told my uncle, I think I got a song, really. And it was called Jesus. Then it was, so then when they recorded the next time, I'm doing this song and I'm teaching the choir this song because I'm a Pentecostal boy. Everything had to be fast.
Oh yeah.
And I'll never forget Stephen Ford was
Oh
at the
yeah.
rehearsal and he said, so the producer said, Stephen Ford is going to be musical director and producing this project. So I'm like, okay. And so Stephen comes over and said, nice song, but do you mind if I let you hear it maybe a little slower? And I'm hoping that this helps younger musicians, older musicians, or whomever listening. I was so open to listen to someone that's been where I'm trying to go.
Yes.
Right.
So him and
Yes.
Edwin Hawkins are standing there, and Stephen. So Edwin said, "What are you thinking?" So Stephen said, he said on the organ. I mean, Stephen could just,
Yes.
Yes.
When he got done with that song, I said, I can't even play it myself no more. But that song ended up staying on top 10 Billboard, I think 34 weeks.
Wow.
And it was entitled Going Back, and I share that experience where a lot of times people say, I don't want no one else in the kitchen with my cooking. And I don't want no one else,
What?
this is the way I wrote it. I don't want, shut up.
Yeah.
Settle down, allow someone with some experience, especially when you know their heart and their track record and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that has produced, good Lord, why would I not have listened? And I'm so glad I listened to him. And the song ended up, being one of the Tri-State's all-time most sought-after songs over the years. So I was grateful for that. So that's where the songwriting kind of started for me.
Okay.
And then from there, I began to just write more and more, and then had an opportunity to write for some other people and things. So it's been a blessing. And I'm still doing some writing now.
Yeah.
So it's just been a blessing.
I love to hear how you're so open. You know what I mean? Like a lot of young people are not open to not even criticism, but just open. Like he's like, well, what about slowing it down? You are open to that, and look what happened.
I'm so glad I listened.
Right.
I don't know what, and I get it, but there's a flip side to that also. And I won't give this producer's name. It's a gentleman that I met about a year ago. And I was working on a song. Now he's pretty famous. This guy's pretty famous. But so I said, hey, an artist was going to do my song. So this guy says, well, I can do your song, but I have to put my name on it because I can get it played. I can do all these things for it. And I'm going to also need 50% of your publishing, 50% of your writers.
What?
I said, I don't mind giving you that if you're willing to take 50% of what it took me to write it.
That's right.
I said, if you can go with the lights being off and losing cars and losing things, then I'll share it with you.
Right.
So he looked at me like real strange, like I dare you. I want him to understand the point that you be careful with trying to put your name on someone's song because you don't know what they had to go through to write that song.
How that God gave it to them. Yeah,
that's right.
So I tell people, and I tell this to producers, I get it. You want to get paid, you want to get your points. I'm cool with all that. But you want half of what I did just to get paid without going through half of what I went through? Do you know what it took me to write that song? Losing his head didn't just happen.
Yeah. That is so true.
It was a process.
That is so true.
It was a process.
Yeah.
So, and I understand the business of it as well, and sometimes I understand the compromise. So I'm not knocking, that end of it. But I say to producers, just be careful how you try to navigate your way on everything that you're working on. Because I always say all money, not good money.
That's right.
That's the truth.
Hello, somebody. Well, let's
There's
just say
something
hi to.
associated with it.
I want to take a minute to say hi to our listeners.
Oh my
We
goodness.
got
They are
Denise
just
on, and Pat is here, and Judy, and Donnell. Alex, that's my producer, Donnell Alexander.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, I
Judy
am.
Shipley is Corey Shipley's mother.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
These are my two sisters are on
yes.
here. My sister in North
So,
Carolina, Denise. My sister Pat. She's so on point. But that's a whole nother show, Lynette. We're gonna talk about his book, The Broken Key. That's a whole nother interview.
yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
like,
We're
"What's
gonna
on
do
his
that.
shirt? The Broken Key." Explain that. But that's
somebody
a
what was
whole
on my
nother
shirt?
show.
The broken key.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
but that's gonna be
I
a
was
whole
playing
nother show.
wounded. I was playing wounded for years.
I know
Yes.
that. I know that feeling,
And
Gary. I
people don't
know it.
know. You know,
I
you
know it.
sitting there and you got the smile, and because I've been in church all my life, I
I
know how to say,
know it.
"Shut that boy." I know how to do all. You know,
Don't get
I
me
Yes.
know church.
started in here. You about to preach
I
something up
know
in here
church,
now. Yes.
but I was broken. I was wounded.
Yes. Been there. Been there.
You know, and it's like, you know, I've never done, you know, never been on drugs, never done alcohol, so I don't know what that feel is to get you that buzz. But I knew that playing a song, hearing shouting music, it gave me a buzz. You know,
Hmm.
hearing all that. But once that high comes off,
Yeah.
I was still broken.
Yep. Yep.
Got the right suit on, you know what right songs to play, and
Yes.
you know you're going through all this. Well, let me take that back. When you're broken, if you're not careful, you will end up sometime playing the wrong song at the wrong time, which
Yes.
is what I call song poison. So if the preacher is up preaching about new season, but because I'm not tapped in because I was broken, I'll start playing something like it's an old shiny day, it's an old bright day, and something
Yes.
had
Yes.
nothing to do, totally out of concept or out of flow
Contact.
with the man or woman of God, and then I end up with song poison, which could mess up a good altar call.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. That's another reason why I tell when I'm teaching, or when I just did a workshop in Connecticut at Full Gospel, and it was called Releasing the Sound of Revival, and I was the facilitator, and my theme was getting back to the basics,
Mm,
because we forget there we don't have to create new ways to worship God. If you want to know, it's in the Bible how to barak him, how to shabak him, how
yeah,
to tehillah him. It's in the word of
It's
God
there.
yeah,
how to release a sound unto him that is acceptable to him, how to lift your hands to him that is acceptable. He gives us clear instructions. We want to consistently create new things that, like you said earlier, that to be relevant or whatever, when just go back to the book and do what God says
yeah,
do in it. And I promise you, your
Yes.
worship will be received by the Lord, and
yeah,
you won't stay so like that. Was the only way I could heal. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Is when I get in my word, I do what I got to do. And when I'm standing before the people, I want to make sure that I'm not bleeding on
yeah,
them. Because
yeah,
when you come
yeah,
in there
yeah,
and you're broken
yeah,
and you're hurting, and like for whatever reason, it could be something going on in your house. That's why you got to stay on your
yeah,
face. You
yeah,
got to stay before the Lord. You got to know your word and the
Yes.
yeah,
promises that he gives us. So
Yes.
when you can't just, what if you're in a church where you can't call out that? I've only ever called out once in my history, and that was when COVID came out. We had a big event at the church where I was leading worship, and that weekend before that, and then everybody just came down. We didn't even know it was COVID yet. Everybody, like almost the whole praise team, got the flu. Well,
oh
it was
wow,
right at the same time. I've never called out from doing, because I know that somebody's soul is dependent on me being on my post.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
the same here.
if you
Yeah.
gotta pray, you
Yeah,
gotta read
same
the
here. I don't
word, you
call
gotta
out.
know what to do.
Yeah,
You
I
got
remember
to.
my father passed on Christmas Eve. And
Mm,
I was very upset because he had never been sick. My father was almost, I think at the time, 88, 89 years old, never on one measure. He wasn't on one prescription, no high blood,
mm,
no anything. He was 6'3", 170 some pounds. So he was within weight. You know, he
Wow.
still had all his hair. He had his teeth. You know, my dad was really healthy. And I just assumed that, okay, this flu, whatever the temperature he's having, he'll be fine. And we prayed thinking he's gonna be fine. But when he passed on Christmas Eve, I never forget. I said, you know what? I'm not going to church tomorrow. God, I just asked you to heal him. I don't know why
Yeah.
you did healing. I'm not going to church. Because I was
Yeah.
angry. I was upset.
Mhm.
That Sunday morning, as much as I said I wasn't going to church, I began to think about David when he got the news that his child had died.
Yes.
And the more I said I wasn't going, I was pulling something out the wearing. I'm not going.
Mhm.
I'm getting in the car. I'm
Mhm.
not
More
going. I'm
compelled.
pulling up in Lindenwood.
Yes.
I'm not going. I go inside and I see Jamie and them guys look over like, yo, you
What are you
here?
doing here?
You
Yep.
know, and I'm just grateful, because I get it, because I don't minimize people grieving, and because we all grieve
Mhm.
differently.
Yes.
But I realize that that's where my help come from.
Yes.
Yes.
Is from the Lord, because
It's
He's the
healing.
only thing right left in this wrong world, and He's been so consistent, even when I've been inconsistent.
Yes.
And if
Yes.
any place I needed to have gotten to that morning was the house of God.
Was the house of
That's
God.
the truth.
So it was. I'm so glad I made that decision, because if I had stayed home, and you know how it is, you can think yourself into a bad place.
Yes.
Yes.
If you just keep going, you can just take yourself right on. That's why I tell you, your environment, those
Yes.
that you're connected to, you don't want those that's going to massage your craziness, and because we all got a little craziness with us.
Yes.
But you need someone that's going to help you cast that foolishness out,
That's
Yes.
right.
and hold you accountable. Say, no, 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 no. You don't get your stuff to where you need to be. And I thank God for doing that.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. We've got to talk about the 11th.
Yes. Let's
Yes,
do it. Let's do
yes,
it.
yes.
That's why
In
we here.
15
That's why we
days,
here.
April 11th. Yes. Call to
Oh,
refresh. Celebrating 9 years.
so why did you start this? It's
Um,
9 years. 9 years ago you started this.
9 years ago, about maybe 10 or 12 years ago.
Okay.
Well, in all the traveling that I do, um, I meet so many musicians with so many backstage conversations,
Mm.
a lot of issues that are going on with their ministries, between them and pastors, or between them and the trustee, or them with choir members, or even amongst the band,
Yeah.
issues. And over the years, so you're back there, waiting to go on the play, but then you're counseling, you're talking, you're encouraging. That's
Yeah.
another point. We play our best instrument when that instrument is turned off.
Yes.
Oh,
Because I can't take a keyboard through the airport like that. I can't just pull a keyboard up, and Matt Stories is no longer there. So I can't just pull a keyboard up somewhere. So you
right.
better make sure you got it in here and got it, hide
Yes.
that word in your heart.
Hide it
So,
in
Yes.
your heart.
so when that happened, I began to think about how David had refreshed Saul. And I began to share with musicians that if you're at this thing with your man or woman of God, you know, you have to be at a place to refresh them so that they're ready to go forth in ministry as well.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it just came to me, and that first one that I did, Troy Chambers out of Philadelphia, he was
Mhm.
my clinician, and I never forget when I showed up at the church. We had 4 people to show up, and I said, oh no, I'm not doing this no more. Oh no. And this guy was there named Johnny Wiggins. I'll
I
never
know
forget him.
him. I know him.
He yelled out. It was an empty church. It was only 4 people, and the other people that were there was my sister. I mean, they ride and die. Carolyn, Sharon, my
Yeah.
sisters were there, and I'd never forget. Johnny yelled out, "Don't stop! Don't stop! You got one. I'll be here every year." But he don't know
Mhm.
that tear was going to come down, because it kind of hurts,
Right.
going
Yeah.
to the attendance. But some if I ask me, where does the call 1623 come from?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's based off the scripture, 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 23,
Ah.
when David went in to refresh Saul. And
Mhm.
what I wanted to do was create a think tank, not another conference. It's not a conference. It's not a place. Don't expect to get a conference bag, materials. There won't be a big vendor selling a bunch of T-shirts that says "Call to Refresh."
Right.
All those expenses are not there to make it affordable. And for a pastor to call me and say, "Hey, I want to register 10 people at
Mhm.
$116 and change," you can't beat that.
That's
And
right.
sometimes
That's
that's their whole
incredible.
band, and sometimes their praise team.
Ah,
So what Call to Refresh is a think tank. It's an opportunity because I travel so much. I can't
yes.
afford to take a couple hundred people around with me to meet the
Right.
Cedric Thompsons of the world. And this year I have Quindell
Mm.
Gaskins and
Yeah.
Tubbs and Corey Shipley. These guys that I'm bringing in this year, and I'm not able to take all these the people all the way to meet these people. So it's easier to bring them in to one room. And we spend 2 hours, I mean, just going through basic life principles in not just ministry, but even those of our brothers that are playing other genres of music as well.
Hmm.
Smurf does that very well. You
Yes.
know, he'll be at an arena on Saturday night, but he knows how to wipe his feet before he enter into his gates on Sunday morning.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
and some can't
Yes.
handle that. Some
Some
can.
can't do it.
You know, I don't knock my brothers that are playing, you know, and traveling. I don't knock that because their gifts have made room for them. You
Yes.
know,
Hmm.
what I try to do is create a place where they can all come in and get refreshed. Because
Yeah.
we get beat up out there.
Yeah.
You know, people see the end result on Sunday morning,
Yes.
but they don't see all the rehearsals. They don't see the time away from your own family. They don't see
Come
how
on
you have to
now.
take a song that took an artist 4 to 6 months to put together, and
Come
you
on,
had
sir. You done
two
made me take
hours
my
to get
glasses
that
off.
song together to play it on Sunday. So people don't see all the things
That's
that we have
right.
to go through. So I ask God
Yes.
to just help me with getting an environment that where musicians and singers could come together and really just love on each other for a couple hours. It's not an environment where we bash pastors. It's not that type of setting.
Right.
It's
Right.
not a
Hmm.
setting where we're beating up on churches and it's not a shed. So you're not coming to a place where you're going to hear, Cedric and all these guys play who can outplay each other. That's not this. That's the conference down the street. That's not what we're
Hmm.
doing. We're bringing people in together where these guys are approachable. We have people that's going to be there to help people that don't have insurance, health insurance, life insurance. You need to have something on you.
Yeah.
We have someone there that takes care of our real estate because you have some people that are paying so much money renting, but there's possibility they can now turn that into a mortgage. So we
Yeah.
have a realtor that is there. Jamie Williams, as you may know, he is
Yeah.
my financial guy. So he talks about more money because a lot of times we always talk about, do I need more money? Do I need more money? But sometimes we may need more discipline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So he helps us with dealing with how to just get through your now, or he teach you how to make sense with your sense. It
Hmm.
doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
then I have another young lady who deals with our wellness because there's no sense in praying to God for all these wonderful things and you keep eating fried chicken, not doing necessary things to take care of your own
That's
health.
right.
I'm
That's
guilty of
right.
it. That's why I'm talking about it because she's
Yeah.
gotten on me several times. Gary, you got to stop the late night eatings. So we have it's I call it a gumbo, and I try every year to grab a group of guys that are approachable, they
Yes.
that are professional, that have integrity,
Hmm.
and these are good guys that love God, and
Yes.
they're ready, they're excited about coming in a couple of weeks. It's going to be in Camden, New Jersey, at the church that I started at, and
Oh,
Yes.
I have it
yeah.
in Camden. It's my way of going back to say thank you,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
at the church
Yeah.
that I grew up. So we bring them into this room. The space is filling up quickly. So those of you that want to register, that you need to register. Bring your musicians. Pastors come. Because we're gonna have an open question, Mike. What do you call it? Question and answer Q&A. Ask some questions. Trustees. People ask questions. Why should musicians get paid? Why? It's just a bunch of questions. Come that night.
Yeah.
And next year we'll be celebrating 10 years. And next year there will be a Pro Tool live recording session with it. We're gonna teach you how to do a production from a Cedric Thompson. Can you imagine sitting with those type of Grammy producer guys showing you the nuts and bolts of this industry from start
Wow.
to finish? So it's just a great time. We start on time. It's the reason why. The other thing people ask me is why is it on a Tuesday night? Because most musicians work Thursday or at least Wednesday through Monday. Their midweek services or Fridays or weddings and Saturdays, various things, and Sunday they're in churches.
Funerals.
Monday nights
Hmm.
they normally flying back in. So I try to make it a night where it doesn't really interfere with people losing money as well. So that's why we do it on a Tuesday. And it's always the Tuesday after Easter.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Something happened to your mic, Gary.
We
My
can
mic,
hear you.
We can
Yeah,
hear you, but it's not as
it's not
clear.
as amplified as it was before.
Yeah.
oh no, I don't know
Now
There,
what's
you're
going
there
on.
good.
you
Now
go.
you're
Now you're
good.
back.
Is that it? Okay. I probably need to elevate my voice. Let's go higher. No, I'm kidding.
Are you that guy that just keeps raising us up on the keyboard and just keep going higher, higher, higher?
Yes, 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 yes,
We're going
yes.
up again. We're
I want
going
to
up
start the
again.
service off with shouting music. Yes.
Yes. So
Yeah.
tell us about the song we're going to play. Under
Under
the
the
Shadow.
Shadow.
Yeah.
It's by Trenton's own Pastor Johnny Vaughn, who's now living in, I believe, Chicago, Illinois, with a good friend of mine, Pastor Chris Harris. And then the artist on this project is Jeff Morrell. He's a New Jersey guy. And the song dealt with being under the shadow of the Almighty, and he that dwelleth in the secret place shall abide under the shadows of the. I tell you, it's
Yes.
safety under the shadow.
Yes,
Yes,
it
Lord.
is. Yes, it is.
It is
Yes.
safety under the shadow. Can I tell you what happened? I know we're going to play the song, but can I tell you what happened to
Yeah,
me?
yeah. Go ahead.
Go
Tell
I
us.
ahead.
was on a plane. I was late getting to my plane, and I had to get back because I don't like to miss Sunday morning. And they finally got me on the flight to get me home. So when I got to the gate, they were going to close the door. They said, Gary Dix, I said, yes, we've been waiting for you. Come right in so we can get you seated so we can get you to Philadelphia. When they got me on the plane, as I was going to my seat, the stewardess called my name, Gary Dix, please, with all your belongings, please come back to the front of the cabin. I'm thinking they're going to take me back off this plane. When I came back in front, they sat me in first class. Hey, I'm not going to miss until I was happy to be there. So I sat there. So when we got off the plane, I asked the stewardess as we was walking baggage claim, I said, why? What happened back there? She said, I didn't like the way the guy looked at you in first class. She said, so I took it upon myself to upgrade you and sit you right next to him. This is what I'm saying to those of you watching tonight. You don't have to do nothing but hold your peace.
Yes.
Because somewhere, somebody is going to see how you being mishandled and mistreated, and they're going to take it upon themselves to upgrade you.
Yes.
I
I've
want
seen
to
it.
thank you for the upgrade, Jesus.
I've seen it.
I
Yes.
receive it. I receive it.
All
Absolutely.
that, I'm going to get back at him. I'm going to get back at her. I'm going to kick some shade at them on social media. You ain't stop it. You ain't got
Stop
to do
it.
none of that.
You ain't got to
Because
do it.
somebody in position can see how you
Yep.
being mishandled
How
and
you handled
mistreated.
it.
And God will just bless them or put them in position to upgrade your situation.
Yes,
I was
Lord.
just reading a devotional today that was talking about how powerful your silence is when
Yes.
you're being
Yes.
mistreated. Silence sometimes is so much more powerful than what you just said, like
Yes.
going back after them or trying to make sure that your voice
Back
is
and
heard
forth.
and this and that or whatever. God says that He will fight our battles for us. We
It
don't
still
have to
doesn't
do
make
it.
sense to me. Oh, I get the multicolored coat, but that
Right.
they really have to do that to their brother.
Right.
I really think about how horrible that was to throw him into a pit like that.
Yes.
I mean, over a
That's
coat,
good.
Over a
a
coat.
multicolored coat.
That's good.
I mean, what were they going to do? They all couldn't wear it at the same time.
That's
I
right.
mean,
Right.
it just amazes me. But Joseph never retaliated
We
against his
never
brother.
did.
That story blesses me so. Okay, I know we gotta go to the song. I'm sorry.
No, you good. You
No,
good.
no, no.
No,
Go
you
ahead. Go
good. This
ahead.
is good stuff. This is good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And he came back,
Yup.
and they were worried. He said, no. Get all your wives, your girlfriends, all of them.
Everybody.
Get everybody. Because where I'm at right now, I can take care of all of you.
Yup.
Yep. Yep.
Yup. Yup.
Be careful how you treat people.
People.
I'm
Come
telling
on,
you.
sir.
It doesn't matter.
Good.
You know what's so crazy? This is kind of on that same path, but I remember I was so tired. I was traveling for work. I was exhausted, and flight was canceled. I was in Orlando. Flight was canceled. I got on another flight, and years ago, my vice president would always say, "Don't walk with your head down. Walk with your head up." But I was tired, and I always remembered that, so I always walked, with a posture. But this, I was tired. My flight was canceled. I was finally getting on the plane, and I'm walking with my head down, and I'm finally on the plane. I'm walking through first class, and something just must have been the Holy Spirit told me to look to the right, and Monique, the actress, she said, "Put your head up, my sister."
Wow.
She said, "God bless you." And I was just like, he sends these reminders.
Yes.
Okay, so you're tired. But don't forget, I'm with you.
Yes, yes, that's good.
And I might not have paid attention.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have received it from anybody, but it was her.
Yeah.
And she had my full attention. Because I was literally dragging my computer bag. I had my head down, and we had to travel in suits. So I had my suit on.
Wow.
And she said, "Put your head up, my sister." And that just gave me energy.
Yeah.
It revived me. It refreshed me.
Yeah, that's
because
good.
Then
that's
I remembered.
Yeah.
See, he does all things well.
Yes, he does.
Wow.
Yes, he does. All right, you guys, we're gonna listen to Under the Shadow. And you know how we do. We be on the side. If we go in a little bit, y'all just come on in with us.
There were days things didn't go my way. I've been lonely in a crowded room. I've even had to shed some tears, but I dwell in the secret place of the Most High God. I'm in a secret place.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. And I found out, yes, it's good to be under the shadow. Just because I'm a preacher doesn't exclude me from all types of pain.
Jesus.
Sometimes I've been lied on and mistreated, mistreated. The enemy has already been defeated. I dwell in the secret place of the Most High. I'm in, a secret place. It's good to be under the shadow. Under the shadow of the Almighty God. Under the shadow. Under the shadow of the Almighty. Hide me, Jesus. Oh Lord, hallelujah. That's where I need to be. Under the shadow. Under the shadow. You can talk to me, Lord. Talk to me, Lord. You can hold me, Jesus.
Yeah.
Hide me under the shadow of your loving arms. Under the shadow. I need you, Jesus. Can't make it without you, Lord. No. Under the shadow. Yeah. Under the shadow. Under the shadow. Under the shadow. I need you, Jesus. Hold me. Direct me. Love me, Jesus. Under the shadow. Under the shadow. Yeah. I need to be restored in your presence. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I need. Yes. Oh, Lord. You won't tell nobody. What a friend we have in Jesus. Oh, yeah. I need the Jesus. I've been lied on. I've been cheated on. Talked about. Yeah. Hide me, Jesus. Under the shadow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
That just said everything we just talked about. I've been talked about.
Yeah.
Woo!
And you can be lonely in a crowded room.
Yes, you can.
You know, you can be in the service where there's thousands of people and still feel lonely.
Yeah.
You know, but if you just remember that you are under the shadow of the Almighty, and He has His hands on you.
Amen.
You know, it's just a good place to be. It's a good place to be.
Yeah.
It's a good place to be, especially now with all that I see on the news.
There's nothing like it.
It's just a good place to be.
Shootings,
There's nothing like
tornadoes.
it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
We just got a text message last night. I don't know if you sent it to you. I don't know who your water company is, Elaine, because we literally live right around the corner from each other.
Yeah.
And I have American Water. You got it from about the chemical spill.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you in this area? And that where you?
Yeah, I'm in Camden County.
Yeah. See. Yep.
Yeah, we got the same thing. And matter of fact, I was at the grocery store, upset because the gentleman that came in before me bought 20 cases of water. It was 3 guys together, and they literally had several bags. So they took all the water. I got upset about it until I got home and turned the news on and seen what happened in Mississippi.
Oh yeah.
You know, it just kind of, you know, I was upset about getting extra water.
Right.
But I hear these people lost everything in Mississippi.
Everything.
And then to turn the news on today and see where someone goes into a private school,
just start shooting up
in Nashville, and kill 3 students and 3 teachers. That just hurt because every year I do this thing called Cover Me Summit.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's in every it's always right before the kids go back to school, and we try to cover them with the full armor. Not just, you know, I know everybody wearing masks and stuff, but we want them not just to cover your mouth and your nose, but we want them to cover their hearts and their eye gates and their ear gates and their mind. So last year we went to 5 different cities, and it was a blessing. So this year we plan on doing the very same. And we spent about 2 hours with them. You know, we bring some people in and talk with them just to try to get, because everybody giving out backpacks and pencils and pens, things. But we're trying, you know, we used to have back to school revival when I was a kid.
Yep.
You know, where you came in and we were on that altar. We were there.
Yep.
And I mean, I get it. You know, people do various things, but for me, I wanted to do something, and that's now I think 13 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been going pretty, and it's been pretty successful. Thank God. God's blessed it.
Do you know where it's going to be this year?
This year we're still finishing up Dallas, Texas. If
Okay.
anyone added on, we're in Richmond, Virginia, Wilmington, Delaware. Of course, always do Camden because of my father's church,
Right.
and Philadelphia. So those dates or the addresses and stuff will all be coming out after Call It Refresh. But we do it every year, and just so people know, I'm not part of a nonprofit. I'm not part of a company that's funding this. So this is not cheap. It's not easy.
Right.
So pray for a brother. So all donations are welcome. Sow a seed. So
absolutely.
Right. I'm finally in the 20th century. I have Cash App now. Thank you, Katrice.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Even with Call to Refresh, a lot of people always say, well, how are you able to, airline tickets, because, flights have gone up. So it's not like this is cheap. But I just believe that God is faithful.
Yes, he
and,
is.
He every year he's always supplied.
Yeah.
I wrote a song some years ago called Meet You at Your Needs. So he will, he has always seemed to meet the needs. And, maybe the day will come where I'll do other things. But for now, some people will call and say, hey, I just want to be a blessing. Thank you. I welcome it. And you just, move forth in ministry. But I just think there's been so many mishandling of funds over the years, and misappropriation, and people have, done wrong things with people funds. So that's never been easy for me to just ask, for people to help or whatever. And then the Lord always seemed to provide, or, I'll get a great rate for hotels or something. And I just, at the end of the day, I look at it as a seed I'm trying to sow into the fabric of younger musicians and singers and ministries coming up, that they would know how to handle and not mishandle, the gift that God has entrusted them with.
Wow.
Well, it's been a blessing talking to you.
Oh my goodness.
Wait a minute, this is it?
Yeah.
1 hour.
But wait, you're gonna come back. We gotta rebook you so we can.
You're gonna come back because I love. This is a reference for me. I love this book.
Oh, bless you.
I read it. Oh yeah, and I tell everybody about it because some of the stories, they hit home. We weren't allowed to go different places. We weren't allowed to do.
That's right.
We weren't. We could only play Mahalia Jackson and James in the house. We would sneak and play. My sister's on here. We would sneak and play the Jackson 5. DeBarge. We would sneak. My dad was very strict. My mother very strict, and we just couldn't do a whole lot of things. And this really hit home, and I'm okay with that discipline.
Well, I am too. I was at a church. How the book came about, and we'll talk about it another time. But how the book came about, I was at a church, and the guy was missing middle C, E flat, and E. I didn't know it. I was in the back of the church, and I said, "Wow, that guy, whoever's up there playing, he sounds amazing." He was blessing the church. He was really playing really well. So when it was my time to go up to play, I noticed those keys were missing. One was just gone. I'm like, so I thought maybe he was doing all this playing and was breaking the keys up while he was playing. He says, "Nah, man, them keys been broken a long time." He said, "They just won't give me a budget to get them fixed." And it didn't hit me until COVID. When we started COVID, I said, "Wow, this guy got comfortable playing on brokenness." And he come that we might be healed.
Yeah.
And I said, "Wow, it wouldn't take $100 or so to fix 3 keys."
Yeah.
You see what little it would take to fix it.
Yeah.
And that's where the book kind of just stemmed from. That you have to make a conscious decision that I need to get fixed.
And a lot of times compensating is not healthy either. Compensating is not healthy either.
Yeah.
It's not.
Because he was comfortable. You thought all the keys were there.
And you're enabling these people to continue to be the way they are and treat you the way they are.
Yes.
One of the things that I can respect about this, I guess, generation or whatever, I'm going to say my kids because they're grown. I don't even have, my kids are in their 40s and 30s, but they have no problem. They know church. They know what they know what the word says, and they're not like us. They have no problem with having the hard conversations.
Yeah, that's my daughter. Yeah.
You know, where we were told like if we do that, we're out of order.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like they don't,
disrespectful.
yeah, disrespectful or whatever. So you took whatever they gave you and you just did the best you could with whatever.
Yeah.
But my kids get on me, Mom, just tell them. I'll be like,
yeah, that's destiny.
But they have no problem having the difficult conversations.
Yeah, sometimes I gotta reel it back and I'm like, wait a minute. No, Dad, let me tell you. I said, Destiny, bring it back in.
Yeah.
But I get it because they, this what I love about this generation. You can't hustle them.
No, you cannot.
Because they will fact check you in a minute. Like, oh, really? When did that happen?
Yep.
And they will, Google is their best friend. Oh, what's that?
Yes.
They start talking to their fingertips. They start talking to their phones.
Yes.
So, I'm grateful for that. But yes, I'm just really thankful to you two tonight. And thank you for what you're doing for the kingdom.
Praise
and even with this platform, you didn't have to do this. And I really, really do appreciate it. But yes, I do. I'm hoping that many will show Camden some love and show up. We're going to start on time.
Okay.
If you miss Cornell Gaskin, who is an amazing musician, if you miss him in the opening, you're going to miss him. He's an incredible player. Austin Woodland out of Philadelphia. I tell people he's one of the smartest musicians I know. He's a real strong thinker. Richard Tubb Smith, who's with Mary and as you guys know, Smurf, who has played for so many people, Common, Marsha Ambrosi, and of course Cedric Thompson, who has produced Karen, Dorinda Clark, Ernest Pugh. The list goes on. Marvin Sapp. Michael Stampley. The list just goes on.
Yeah.
All the people he worked with. Of course, Jamie and I hope I got them all. Corey Shipley, who was a choir guy. And Corey was my first drummer at my dad's church. I know we run out of time.
No, you're good.
This story is so funny. I called Corey because my sister, I just became minister of music at my pop's church. I was maybe like 15, 16, maybe 17, I don't know. And my sister was the drummer, but Sharon was always getting, Sharon loved God, but Sharon did not know how to stay on the drums because she'd go waving her hand and getting excited about the song. So I'll be up there going in the service, and all of a sudden I don't hear the drums. I turn around, Sharon's up, yes, Sharon is doing off the spirit. So I told her, I said, "You're fired. You're no longer the church drummer." So you can imagine what family dinners were like because I had to fire my own sister.
Yeah.
Well, I fired her, not thinking that we were going into New Year's service and I needed a drummer for New Year's service. I called Corey. I said, "Corey, I need a drummer for my New Year's service." He's okay. What time do you need me to be there?
That sounds just like him.
Yeah.
I said, "Really?" So Corey was my drummer. So when he walked in, you can imagine my sister, but she, Sharon, she loved him, she's not like that. But it was just funny that, I called Corey. That's how he and I got to really be, pretty cool and close because he had worked for me. I don't know. I guess he was doing several months for me before I finally was able to get someone to play drums there. But I often think about that story. Sharon was on them drums and we could be doing anything. Pass Me Not. By or about Doug Miller or something.
We just sang that Sunday.
And Shannon started standing up and started singing with him. I'm like, you didn't sit yourself down. Come on.
That's hilarious.
But she can play them drums. She can still play. But if you're trying to get through a whole song, don't use Sharon. Because Sharon will get into that song, but God has been good to her. They want to take her breasts off. And she said, no. She said, no, except the Lord do this, it won't be done. And she walked away from chemo and radiation. And this is 20 some years later. My sister is still healed, doing well, hair and growing.
Jesus.
So, so Sharon would dance and shout in a moment. Sharon would go up to the grocery store. So she has a right.
That's right.
She has a right. You
don't know her praise.
You don't know her praise.
Right.
So,
right.
So that, but I was trying to get her to understand. I need to sit on these drums, but no, but don't mess with Sharon. She would dance in a minute. I call her right now, put her on Zoom. She'll start shouting right now.
I love it.
I love it. Yes. So Gary,
I'm sorry, I can just go in and go
I
in.
love it. This is great.
But we serve a mighty God.
Yes,
we serve a mighty God.
Yes,
we do.
We serve a mighty God.
Yes, we do.
I'm happy now.
He is
Hallelujah.
amazing. He is
Hallelujah.
amazing. There's absolutely no one like him, and I say it all the time. There's no one like him.
Nope.
You cannot compare. You
I know, and it
cannot
goes back to
compare.
what Gary said before. When I look back over my life, the
Yeah,
one thing
Yes.
that has been
Woo,
consistent
Jesus.
is
Woo,
God.
it's
He's
Jesus.
the
God.
one thing that has been consistent. People
I'm
fall by
trying
the
to tell you.
wayside,
I'm
all
trying
that.
to tell
He
you.
has remained there.
Even though we've been
Consistent.
inconsistent.
That's right.
All of my inconsistencies.
That's right. That's right.
When
He
I
is
said I
yet
was going to do
faithful.
and I did not do, he was still there.
He is
That's why I'm glad
always
he
faithful.
blocks it.
Oh,
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we only testify what we want you to know.
Come on
yeah.
now.
But we really don't testify
Come
and
on,
really go
sir.
into things.
Yes.
So we kind of graze over a little bit because we really don't want to tell the truth of
The
the
true
matter.
story.
But
Yeah.
God,
But
But
God.
God. He
But
knows the
God.
true story. He
Yup.
knows what he blocked.
And he still pours on them. And he
and
still pours on you. Blesses you, wakes you up, keeps you strong, gives you
Grace.
ideas. Shit,
Grace.
this is my thing. It astounds me and awes me how he trusts me with his melodies.
yeah.
Like that is an honor and a privilege.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody can't do what we
No,
do.
Yes.
Oh my
no.
God, when he gives me a
Yes.
song and then you hear and it's like he's trusting me to give it to the people the way he gave it to me. And
I'm
that's what this
grateful.
platform is about. Like, I don't want you to take your song and make it something else. I want it straight from heaven
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
people's ears so God can do the work. That's the only way he can do
Yeah.
the work.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, God is amazing.
Woo.
It's amazing. It's
Wow.
amazing. We gotta
Amazing
go,
God.
y'all. We love y'all, but we can do this all night long.
I know. Gary Diggs is coming back. He's
Yes.
coming back.
Yes.
He's going to come back and talk about the broken key.
Yes.
Hey, I think you all need to go out, order your book. Go
Yeah.
ahead and order it. So then you can really be involved in our discussion when he comes back.
Yes.
But here it is. You know what
There it is.
everything is always about a number for me. The price is $12.88.
What's
I
that
have the
mean?
pink socks on because Sharon had cancer. So that's why the pink socks, it wasn't for no fashion statement, it's because she
Right.
had cancer. But the pricing was the $12 represent the keys, the gates, the 12
Yes.
keys to
12
the city. The 8 represent new beginning. The reason why I
Yes.
put the second 8 there because I said, Lord, whoever purchased that book, I pray that they receive a double portion of new beginning.
I receive it. I receive it.
All right, I'm done talking about it.
All right. Look, y'all know y'all got to come back. Soon as we get off of this call, we're going to get a date for get
Yes.
Gary booked again. We're going to
Yes.
have him back. We're going to talk about the book. They can get it on Amazon.
Yes, it's on Amazon. Gary Diggs, The Broken Key. It's right on Amazon.
Order it. Go get
Or
your
if they
book.
want to go purchase it at my church, the Harvest Bookstore has it.
Oh,
Bethany
yeah, if
Baptist
you're in
Church
this
is
area.
Go right to
in the
Harvest
Harvest Bookstore and bring it past the church and I'll sign it for you and all. Yep.
Yeah.
And you
you're
better
in the-
sign up and get your registration. I'm
Yes.
already registered. I will
Yes.
be called to refresh. I will be there. I'm excited. I can't believe I missed the other 8, but that's all right. I'll
That's
be at
all
the
right.
9th one.
Well, we went virtual last year because
Okay.
Oh, I did do the 8th. Okay.
and they were closed a couple of years because of COVID. I didn't want to risk anyone coming out like that, so I kept everyone
Yeah.
in. But we're
Yeah.
back. We're back. And live, as they say. So we're excited.
Yes.
Everybody's ready to go.
Good.
We're ready.
Well, we all know we love y'all, and we'll keep you posted. We don't have any more interviews for this month, and we're kind of like moving a little slow for April, only because we got stuff our own self going on. But we are going to get Gary back. We're going to talk about his book. Don't forget to download your single. Go get it tonight. You have until this Friday to download it from our website, katricecornettministries.org. Go get it. And you'll be the first one to get it before the people of the world. This called He Is Risen. Go get it. And we pray that it bless you this Easter season. Keep a lookout for what Elaine has coming out. Her next single is called You Are My Father, and we are working on that now. Yep. And we are excited about what God is doing. If you're not busy on the 11th, we expect you to be in the house in Camden for a call to refresh. Yes. If you want to be involved in the in the discussion when we bring Gary back. And even if you're not going to be on, go support him and get the book.
Yes.
Amazon.com, or if you're in the Lindenwood area, just stop by Bethany Baptist in the Harvest Bookstore and pick up your book. Yeah, and make sure you get it signed, because he is somebody in the kingdom, y'all.
Mine is signed.
He is somebody. Yeah. You wanna make sure you get it signed. We love you guys for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in to T.H.S.A. Records.
Yes, and the grace and favor of God, we pray that it is on you and your families. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.